No intro, straight onto the video. Before diving in, this video is based upon the most underrated creators here, so people who have tens of thousands of subscribers are unlikely to be included, and this will mainly be on the educational side of things, with the odd exception here or there. Starting off with Honourable Mentions, who are people who didn't quite make the cut for reasons I'll give, but are still respectable and definitely worth a check, especially towards the latter end of this category. First up is Clover4, who I actually got recommended to by someone in a community post I did about this video. I checked out his channel and he's got some pretty decent content, from his Wrecking Ball guide to his VOD reviews. His videos are also timestamped as well, which is a great touch that even some of those at the top don't even have. My biggest or main issue is just with the density of information not being quite up to par, and his guides are a bit reductionist in terms of breaking things down to much smaller parts, such as his ball guide for instance, mainly focusing on synergies and counters rather than more details about his fit into certain comps. His upload schedule is also a bit sporadic, but I think that for his size, he's definitely far beyond what most would expect. Next up is Paz. Paz is a top 500 support player who specializes in Nana and makes a whole variety of educational content, from guides to tier lists to when to pick a hero. He's got great consistency in his uploads and his guides are pretty in depth. My biggest critique is that some of his videos seem to be quite bloated or unnecessary. For example, I don't think you need a 23-minute video explaining when and why you should pick a Risa. Just pick up a double shield comps on long sideline maps where you may be struggling to close the distance on a hero such as Reinhardt for example, or to have more survivability in divier comps as she's able to shoot and shield at the same time, alongside Fortify and Hull and her armor beefing her survivability up. All of that was just said in a slither of the time of that video, and the video isn't even timestamped. With that being said, I still think he makes far better content than your average Joe, at a fraction of the size as well. Next up is Ralph, who is predominantly a streamer, and some of you may already know him from my short little diss at the end of my Arisa guide. Also Ralph, if you're watching this, Arisa isn't an off-tank, you bozo. The inherent disadvantage streamers have compared to YouTubers is that they can't really filter or edit or finally tune the structure of their content as it's all live, but even then, Ralph still does a solid job. Aside from his hot takes and convoluted semantics about Overwatch, I'd still recommend picking up his free, one-off, 20 minutes worth of coaching, especially considering that there isn't much free coaching out there by people who've studied the game for a long time. After Ralph is Thor. I'll keep this short, but his Macro Fundamentals series is still really solid, alongside his more recent content, despite the lack of production quality and lack of conciseness sometimes. Following Thor is Stars Filth, who's also a streamer, but does a bit more on the YouTube side of things. Stars Filth is one of the most unique people in this video by being a mixture of education and entertainment, fulfilling the edutainment niche, which there's certainly a market for, as people like Stylosa kind of fill that niche, but miss out on the educational part unfortunately. The main content from Stars Filth predominantly consists of edited down VODs from a stream to encapsulate the best bits, with his amazing thumbnails and skits at the start of his video, which are always a treat to watch. So what's really the issue here? Why isn't he higher up? Well, there are two main reasons, with the first one being the most important: density and conciseness. Mr. Filth, if you're watching this, and I know you are, please timestamp your videos on specific concepts or places where that concept shows up, and do more edits on the video itself to cut out dead air. This is something similar to my Diva VOD with Spilo, in which I cut the VOD down by about 20% and I did some heavy timestamps. I'm not sure what your audience retention or watch time look like, but I bet it'll increase if you spend more time refining the video. The second issue is just consistency, but I still think it's somewhat reasonable, especially compared to some others in the video. I really do think your channel has some of the highest potential of anyone in this video, because you fill a market that's not really being filled well, as evident by the Angry Llama or Stylosa. Lastly, ending off the honourable mentions, we have egoistcat. He is a former Contenders coach who prioritizes making macro content in pro play. Likewise to Stars Filth, there's really nobody like egoistcat, and the dude could grow so much more if he just made more content. Unfortunately, he's a coach first, content creator second, meaning that he's unlikely to prioritize content creation in the future. Moving on to the top 5, which, if you've been a long time viewer of mine, you should know most people coming up. In number 5, we have Lucid. Now I shouted him out back in my Overwatch Educative Creator tier list, and he was at 36 subscribers. Now he's gained over 200 more and is sitting at 238 as of making this video. He slowed down more on the concise content creation side of things, but he's still relatively active by often doing live streams of owl analysis. I like to think of Lucid as a mini egoistcat, and I'd like to see him do more concise videos, but if he does do more longer type videos, whether that be streams or whatever, having specialized thumbnails, adding timestamps after the stream has ended, and cutting out dead air if possible would be great improvements. Likewise to Stars Filth. I did prompt Lucid into trying to make more content, and he says that he's having a short that's in the works, so hopefully that sees the light of day soon. In at number 4, we have Spilo. Now if any of you have watched any videos of mine in the past year, you probably would have seen me use Spilo at least once, and for good reason. But for those of you who remember, Spilo got the top end of my educative content creator tier list, so why isn't he at number 1 again? Well, I'll first explain why he's in the top 5, which just by a simple click on his channel should explain everything. The variety, quality, and density of his content is immense, with consistency obviously dropping to him being picked up as an owl coach, but he still tries to stream every now and then on Twitch. The main reason why he's not any higher is similar to that of egoistcat, in that it's unlikely that we're going to be seeing much more content from Spilo, as he's a literal Overwatch League coach, and he's also the largest creator on this tier list and pulls in a large amount of viewers on Twitch, showing that even though he's still crazily underrated, he does gain more attention than others higher up on the tier list. In third place, we have SwordOW, a relatively new face that I've started including in some of my videos, who's also a professional coach, currently LFT for OWL. He's got a pretty solid backlog on YouTube, and it should honestly be a crime that he has less than 100 subscribers, considering his guides for heroes are some of the best on YouTube. They're simple but advanced and easy to follow, and he shows tons of examples from pro play that back up his explanations well. The only concern is his consistency, since I don't know whether he just started making content creation out of a spark of motivation to make content or a serious drive to grind out content, but I have a feeling that it's the former, meaning he'll likely end up as an Agoist cat. In second place, we have Temporal OW. Temporal is also another former Contenders coach with a ton of experience who's recently come back to YouTube in the last year or so. About a few months ago, he was prioritizing doing a ton of VOD reviews, but now he's doing more discussion-based videos, whether that be tier lists, content on r/Overwatch University, or the business side of esports, which, as even Spilo agrees here, is some unique content that nobody else in this video can really provide.
Temporal's best content are not just his VOD reviews, but a lot of his discussion videos. Like he did one where he was discussing the UTD Dallas college position where they're asking for a head coach and paying $42,000 to be the director of 4 esports. That whole video was just really educational and really entertaining because he has a more mature and more experienced business side of things that a lot of that, even I don't have that, like, and there's really, I don't know anybody else who does. So a lot of his discussion videos, not just his VOD reviews, are actually really, really fun. I watch a lot of the content that's released when I get a chance. Like Cager, I watch almost every video you release.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
His consistency is also top-notch, unlike others down below him, and obviously it goes without saying, but the quality of his content is top-notch, even if he does focus on the micro a bit too much in his coaching. And in first place is NatterOW. He's yet again a former Contenders coach and does a lot of macro, team-based content, but has recently focused on pumping out YouTube shorts on a daily basis while streaming, whilst also landing big collabs with people like Forsters, a 5-times winner for Overwatch Contenders as a coach. The quality and consistency is there, and I feel that less people know of Natter compared to people like Spilo, despite both having similar levels of quality when it comes to their content. With that being said, I do think that, to some extent, Natter is almost filling the niche Spilo left when he became an OWL coach, but more so with macro team content rather than individual hero coaching. I do highly recommend viewing his past streams, coaching teams of different SRs on different maps, as there are some key things that you can definitely pick up, both on an individual level and on a team level. I hope he continues to pump out content in the future, since he really is top notch. Before I end off the video, all the creators mentioned in this video will be linked down below, and all of them should definitely get checked out, since I do think they're worth your time. I'm a bit tired of people like Stylosa, people like your Overwatch, dominating the Overwatch content market, but I do hope that once Overwatch 2 releases, sometime next year hopefully, all of our channels of this sort of type will get more recognition by the Overwatch public. Well, that's the video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and if this video helped to raise your IQ, be sure to share it with your friends to also raise theirs. Until next time.
Living like we're renegades.